My beloved child, the shifting you're feeling all around you, it's not random, and it's not punishment. You may be looking at your life right now and wondering why so much is moving, changing, even falling apart. But I want you to know, I'm not just watching from a distance. I'm the one moving the pieces. Every change, every delay, every closed door is being used for something greater. You've been feeling a distance, even in places that once felt familiar. Friendships feel different. Goals that once fired your spirit now feel heavy. The road ahead seems unclear, and you ask, God, where are you? I am here, in the silence. I am not absent. I am preparing. What looks like separation is actually elevation. What feels like loss is making space for something of eternal value. I'm shifting your environment because what's coming requires more of me and less of what you've outgrown. Not everyone can go with you into this next season. Not every structure you leaned on before can hold the new weight of your calling. This is not the end. This is the middle, the space where faith is tested and refined. You may feel like everything is falling apart, but in reality, I am rearranging things so they fall into place. I remove only what can't remain. I close only what must be closed. I delay only to align, and all of it, is because of what I'm about to give you. So breathe. Don't panic when it shifts. Don't run back to what I've asked you to release. Don't curse the silence. Listen in it. Because very soon, the thing you've been waiting for will be revealed, and you will understand why it had to happen this way. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. And when I bless completely. You are safe in my hands, even in the shift. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's preparation. You've felt it lately, a tension in your spirit, like you're being stretched in places you didn't even know could stretch. The weight feels heavier, your patience thinner, and your prayers more raw than polished. You've wondered, why now? Why this? Why me? But let me tell you something holy. This pressure is not here to crush you, it's here to prepare you. You're being expanded to carry something greater. The strength you're building now is for what I've already seen ahead. You see, blessings don't just arrive. They require structure, capacity, maturity. And I would never pour something precious into a vessel that can't contain it. That's why you're growing, even when it's uncomfortable. That's why your heart feels tender and your emotions sit closer to the surface. I'm not breaking you. I'm deepening you. You may not realize it, but you're praying differently now. You're seeing through new eyes. You're noticing things you used to overlook, and that's no accident. I'm sharpening your discernment. I'm adjusting your spiritual posture. I'm aligning you with the pace of heaven. Others around you may not understand the fire you're walking through. They may not feel what you feel or see what you see, but I do, and I'm not wasting any of it. What feels like delay is actually development. What feels like confusion is actually construction. So don't despise the pressure. Don't rush the process. Let me complete what I started in you. Because when the time comes, and it will, the weight of your calling will rest on a foundation that won't crack. You are not falling apart. You are being fitted for something divine. I am removing what you didn't know was holding you back. There are things you've been praying for, open doors, breakthroughs, next steps. And yet, what you're seeing right now feels like loss, like subtraction, like being pulled away from people, routines, environments that once brought comfort. But child, not all comfort is good. Some comfort keeps you stuck. Some routines keep you small. And so I've started to remove what you didn't know was keeping you from the blessing you've been asking me for. You thought that relationship was essential, but I saw how it kept you doubting your worth. You thought that opportunity was yours, but I saw how it would drain your purpose. You thought you were being rejected, but I was redirecting you. Every no you've encountered recently has been a protective barrier around something sacred I'm building in you. I know what's ahead, and I know what can't go with you. You've been asking me to make room for the new, and that's exactly what I'm doing. But sometimes to make room, I must first empty your hands, and that feels like loss, even when it's love. You may feel the sting of what's leaving, but soon you'll feel the strength of what's coming. Let go with me. Trust the release. Don't chase what I've removed. Don't mourn what I've already used. What's meant for your next will arrive with peace, not pressure. You are not being punished. You're being realigned. And if your heart aches in the letting go, remember, I'm not only the God who gives, I'm also the God who gently takes away, so that you can receive what you could never imagine holding. Stay open. I'm not finished yet. My beloved child, the silence is not my absence. You've prayed and heard nothing. You've asked for signs and seen no movement. You've cried out and the heavens felt closed. And in that stillness, doubt began to whisper, maybe God isn't listening anymore. But I am here, and I've never been closer. The silence you feel is not a punishment. It is a pause full of purpose. In this space, I am building trust that is not based on outcomes, but on intimacy. I am teaching you to recognize my presence beyond the noise. You don't always need more noise. Sometimes what you need is stillness to hear me clearly, because in the silence, you start to notice the shift inside of you, how your strength is no longer in your control, but in your surrender. How your hope no longer depends on what happens, but on who holds it. My beloved child, I didn't abandon you in the waiting. I am sitting beside you in it. While you worry about what's next, I'm more concerned with who you're becoming right now. You want the door to open, and I want your heart to be ready when it does. You want the answer, and I want your roots to grow deep enough to hold the answer when it comes. So don't misread the quiet. I am not ignoring you. I am holding you. I am not withholding. I am shaping. Sometimes I speak with thunder. Other times I whisper through the wind. But always, always, I am speaking. Lean into me now, not for answers but for closeness. Not to escape the stillness but to encounter me inside it. Because when the silence breaks, and it will, you will carry something you never would have received had you rushed it. You are not forgotten. You are being deeply formed. You are not who you used to be, and that's on purpose. Lately, you've been feeling disconnected from things that once felt familiar. Conversations don't resonate like they used to. Places that once brought comfort now feel distant. And inside, you sense a change. A quiet transformation you can't quite explain. This isn't confusion. This is growth. This is what happens when you outgrow what once fit. You are shedding the version of you that was rooted in fear, in people-pleasing, in survival. And though part of you wants to run back to what's known, to what's predictable, another part of you knows there's no going back, because I've called you forward. This shift you feel, it's spiritual. You are being rewired for purpose. I am pruning not to punish you, but to make you fruitful in places that truly matter. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like you're being pulled away from everything at once. But this discomfort is evidence that I am doing something deep within you, something eternal. You're not just changing, you're awakening. Your values are shifting. Your prayers are deeper. Your spirit is becoming more sensitive. You cry over things that never used to move you. You see through things you once tolerated. This is what happens when I breathe on your life. So don't mourn who you used to be. Honor who you were, but step fully into who you're becoming. The people who don't understand your growth were never meant to go with you to the next level. Don't force what I've released. Don't shrink to be accepted by rooms I've already called you out of. You are not crazy. You are being calibrated. And where I'm taking you, only the refined version of you can carry the blessing that's coming. I am not done with your story. There are pages of your life that still feel heavy, memories you've tried to forget, regrets that resurface at night when the world grows quiet. You've looked at those chapters and thought, this ruined everything. How could anything good come after this? But listen, child. That is not where your story ends. I am not the author who walks away when the plot gets messy. I stay, I redeem, I rewrite, and what looks like ruin to you, I see as foundation for something miraculous. You've convinced yourself that your mistakes disqualify you, but I've never written you off. Not for your sin, not for your doubt, not for your wandering. I knew every failure before it happened, and I still chose you. I don't erase your story, I resurrect it. I take what the enemy meant for destruction and weave it into a testimony that brings life to others. You thought the damage disqualified you, but the damage is where my glory begins to shine, because you're not the same person you were before the pain. You're more humble, more aware, more tuned in to what truly matters. And I will use every scar, not to shame you, but to show the world what healing looks like. You don't need to keep rehearsing the past. You don't need to keep asking, what if? I am already in the what's next, so release it. Let me finish the work I started, and let me remind you, the most powerful stories don't skip the middle, they overcome it. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't ruined your purpose. I'm still writing, and the next chapter holds more beauty than you dare to believe. The delay is not denial, it's divine design. You've been waiting, longer than you thought you would, longer than others expected, and the silence in the waiting has felt louder than any storm. You've asked, did I miss it? Did I mess something up? Why hasn't it happened yet? But child, I need you to hear me clearly. Delay is not the same as denial. The waiting is not empty, it's active with purpose. I'm not holding things back from you out of cruelty. I'm holding things in place for the exact moment when they will bear the most fruit. You see time differently than I do. You count minutes and months. I count maturity and moments of impact. What I'm preparing for you is bigger than you think, and bigger things take deeper foundations. You don't plant a mighty tree in shallow soil. You dig deep. That's what I've been doing with you. Deepening your faith, expanding your patience, strengthening your roots so you can withstand the weight of the blessing. You're not behind. You're not being overlooked. You're being aligned. I know it's hard to see progress when everything feels still, but stillness is not stagnation. It's where I whisper strategies. It's where I break off things that can't go with you. It's where I prepare you, not just to receive, but to sustain. So breathe. Trust that what I've started in you is still in motion, even when your eyes can't yet see it. There will be a day when suddenly everything shifts, and you'll realize the waiting wasn't punishment, it was protection, and when it comes, it will come fast. Be ready. My beloved child, I am not asking you to be perfect. You've been so hard on yourself lately. You notice every mistake. You feel like you're not praying enough, not believing enough, not doing enough. You carry the quiet pressure of trying to earn my favor, as if my love for you could ever be based on performance. But hear me, I never asked you to be perfect. I only asked you to be present. You think your inconsistency disqualifies you, but I see your heart, the way you keep returning, even when it's hard. The way you whisper my name when words fail you. The way you show up in the quiet when no one else sees. That is faith. Not loud, polished, public faith, but deep, raw, honest faith. And that's the kind I treasure most. My beloved child, I am not grading your holiness. I am not watching your every move to tally how spiritual you are. I'm walking with you. I'm celebrating the small steps, the fragile prayers, the silent surrender. You may feel like you're falling behind, but in my eyes, you're growing. You may feel unworthy of blessings, but I call you chosen, not because of what you do, but because of who you are to me. So release the pressure. Let go of the idea that you have to impress me. You never needed to. You were loved before you accomplished anything. You were mine before you even knew my name. Let that truth settle into your heart. You are not saved by your perfection. You are saved by my grace. And I never expected you to carry this life alone. That's why I walk every step with you, even now. I am opening your eyes to what you used to overlook. Lately, you've been noticing things you didn't see before. What used to feel normal now stirs something unsettled. You hear words differently. You see actions more clearly. It's like something in you has awakened. And that's not by accident. I am giving you discernment. What once blended into the background is now standing out with sharp contrast. People, habits, conversations, and environments that once felt safe now feel misaligned. That's not because you've changed in a bad way. It's because you've grown, and growth always brings clarity. You asked me to lead you. You asked for truth. You asked for alignment. Now I'm answering, and it may feel like disconnection at first, but don't grieve what's fading. Don't resist what I'm revealing. I'm protecting your future by showing you what no longer fits it. You weren't meant to walk blindly into the next season. I'm giving you spiritual eyes to see what's real, not just what's comfortable. Some connections will fall away, some doors will close, and it might hurt, especially when you don't have all the answers. But remember this, I see what you don't, and I love you too much to let you stay bound to what was never meant to hold you. So trust me as I rearrange, even when the change is subtle, even when your heart hesitates, because I'm not only ordering your steps, I'm guarding your path. Let me adjust your vision. Let me refine your atmosphere. Let me align your surroundings with where I'm leading you next. This is not the end of something. It's the beginning of walking with eyes wide open. You were never meant to blend in. There's a reason you've always felt a little different. Even when you tried to fit in, something inside you whispered, "This isn't it." You've walked into rooms that looked right, but your spirit couldn't rest. You followed paths that made sense to others, but left you feeling empty. That's because you were never created to blend in. You were created to stand apart. I placed a calling inside of you that doesn't match the pattern of this world. Your convictions won't always be popular. Your values won't always be praised. But you weren't made to be praised by people. You were made to walk with purpose. You've been feeling this tension, this divine discomfort, because I'm awakening your identity. You can't unsee what I've shown you. You can't unknow what I've whispered to your spirit, and that knowing comes with weight. But don't run from it. Don't shrink. You were never meant to live a small, safe life. You were created for impact, to shift atmospheres, to carry my presence into places where others have only carried pain. And yes, it will cost you. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone will celebrate the steps you take in obedience, but I will. Every time you choose me over convenience, heaven notices. Every time you say yes while trembling, I stand beside you with strength. So no more pretending, no more minimizing who you are just to be accepted. Walk boldly, speak honestly, live fully, because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs what I've placed uniquely in you, and I will guide you every step. I am fighting battles you don't even see. You've been feeling pressure from all sides, the weight of thoughts, the heaviness in your chest, the tension in your spirit, like something is trying to wear you down, little by little, and though you may not be able to name it, you feel it, the resistance, the confusion, the invisible war. But let me reassure you, child, you are not under attack without protection. You are not vulnerable. You are not alone. I am standing guard over your life. I see what's coming before it arrives. I know the plans formed against you, and I've already interrupted their path. There are battles you've never had to fight because I fought them for you. Moments you thought were coincidence. They were my covering. Delays you didn't understand. They were my shield in disguise. The spiritual realm is real, but so is my authority over it. And the enemy knows your potential. That's why he's tried to distract, discourage, and exhaust you. He knows you carry something holy, but what he didn't calculate is that you are mine, and I've equipped you with more than you realize. You don't need to respond in fear, respond in faith. You don't need to fight for control, stand in surrender. I've given you discernment, and I'm training your hands for spiritual war. Every whisper of doubt, every sudden wave of heaviness, don't absorb it, test it, and then release it to me. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being trained, sharpened, positioned. So take heart. If you feel opposition, it's because you're stepping into something real, and no weapon formed against you will prosper, not when I am your defender. I have already gone before you. My beloved child, your identity is not up for debate. You've spent too much time questioning who you are. You've let the voices of others, their judgments, comparisons, silence, shape your reflection. You've carried words that were never meant to define you, and slowly, quietly, you began to believe them. But I want to speak louder than the noise. You are not what they said. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not broken beyond repair. My beloved child, I formed you with intention. Every part of you, your gifts, your sensitivity, your strength, your depth, is by design. Not one piece of your personality is an accident. You are not too much or not enough. You are exactly who I made you to be. You've looked in the mirror and seen lack. I look at you and see legacy. You've tried to edit yourself to fit in. I called you to stand out. You've let rejection write your narrative. But my acceptance rewrites the whole book. There is nothing you have done that can undo who I say you are. Chosen, called, set apart, redeemed. So come out of agreement with the lies. Tear down the labels that shame tried to stick to your soul. Return to the truth, the one I whispered over you before anyone had the chance to name you. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not too damaged. You are mine. And when I look at you, I see purpose wrapped in grace, potential anchored in love, and a future that no human opinion can cancel. So walk in that truth, child, even when your knees shake, because the moment you believe who I say you are, everything starts to change. I am calling you to release what no longer serves your spirit. There are things you've been holding on to that once felt right, but now feel heavy. Not because you're weaker, but because your spirit has outgrown them. And still, you've tried to carry them, afraid of what life might look like without them. But hear me clearly, not everything from your past belongs in your future, and not every attachment is meant to last. I know how hard it is to let go. Especially when you've invested time, energy, emotion, especially when it once felt like home. But I don't just remove to leave you empty. I remove to make room for something sacred. That mindset that used to keep you safe, it's limiting your growth. That relationship you've justified again and again, it's stealing your peace. Let me cut what binds you. Let me prune what doesn't bear fruit. Yes, pruning stings, but it's proof you're still alive. And everything I cut back is to prepare for greater fruitfulness. You've asked for clarity, and I'm giving it, but clarity comes with responsibility. When I show you what doesn't align anymore, I'm asking you to trust me enough to lay it down. You won't fall apart. You'll find freedom. I'm not asking you to throw away your history. I'm inviting you to honor it by choosing healing over familiarity. I'm not asking you to forget what you've learned. I'm calling you to build from it, not live inside it. The next season needs a lighter you, not because you're losing strength, but because you're gaining purpose. So release what you know you've outgrown. Let go, not in fear, but in faith. I will not leave you empty-handed. What I promised you is still alive. You've wondered if you missed it. The vision I gave you, the hope that once burned bright, the dream you were sure came from me. You remember the way your heart used to leap with excitement, how clearly you felt my presence guiding you toward it. But now it feels distant, quiet, like something that faded in the waiting. Let me remind you, I do not speak in false hope. When I promise, I deliver. When I plant a seed, I water it in ways you can't always see. What I spoke over you has not died. It's been growing in the dark. And just because you haven't seen the bloom yet doesn't mean the roots aren't deep. Some promises require patience, not because I'm withholding, but because I'm building, not just the blessing, but you. I know the perfect time, and it's not late. It's right on schedule. But I also know the weight of that promise, and how heavy it would feel if it arrived too soon. So I've hidden it, not from you, but for you. In the meantime, I've been teaching you endurance, training your discernment, stretching your faith beyond feelings, and yes, healing the parts of you that would have sabotaged the very thing you were praying for. Child, you didn't miss it. You're maturing into it. When it comes, it will be clearer than before, cleaner, stronger, untouchable by anyone but you and me. So don't let time convince you to lower your expectations. Don't trade what's eternal for what's easy. Keep walking, keep trusting, because what I promised is still in motion, and soon, what was only vision will become reality. I will finish what I started in you. You've come a long way, even if you can't always see it. There were days when you almost gave up, nights when your tears fell like prayers without words, moments you questioned whether any of this was working, whether I was really leading, whether you could keep going. But look at you. You're still here. You're still breathing. And that is no small thing. You haven't missed your destiny. You haven't ruined your calling. You haven't run out of time. I've been with you in every step, even the ones you thought led nowhere. I've been working in the silence, moving in the background, healing you when you didn't even realize you needed it. And now, I'm bringing things full circle. Doors are beginning to unlock. Connections are starting to align. The clarity you prayed for is rising like the morning sun, not all at once, but steadily, faithfully, surely. I know how long you've waited. I know how deeply you've hoped, and I have not forgotten one word you whispered in faith. I don't start something I don't plan to finish, and what I'm building in you is eternal, so don't grow weary. The breakthrough is closer than it seems. The weight you've carried is about to give way to glory. The burden is turning into blessing. I am the author, and I will write the final word over your life, and that word will be fulfilled. You're not lost. You're not behind. You are exactly where you need to be, in my hands, in my plan, in my love. And this is just the beginning.